Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A, where we go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, just getting started here today. Still, I don't know, like, I'm not fully back yet, I would say, under the weather. Like, I still have a little tickle in my throat kind of thing, but hopefully we'll be fine. Got some nice hot coffee, so it's soothing. I know I should be having tea, but, coffee. What can I say? All right, let's get with the first bit of news today, and that is an annual tradition. Something as consistent as the holidays. It's like the pumpkin spice of tech. Galaxy is going to launch the Unpacked event early. It literally has happened every single year. Like in the past 6 years, we haven't missed once this rumor. This exact same rumor. I think um let's see. Note 7, Note 8, 9, 10, 20, S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra. So 7 years. That's when it began. The Note 7 was the first one because that one was, remember, the one that was like adamant, like it's going to happen this year because they have to make up for the Note 7. That made sense. Last year was the very first year that it ever happened. 7 years tradition. I had always said, don't believe it, don't buy into it because it never actually happens. Lo and behold, last year they were like, actually, seventh year's the charm. So, um, will it happen again this year? Is the question. Maybe. It's like, I guess. It's a possibility. Uh, Look, is it for sure? No. Um, is it a possibility? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm trying to remember if someone can look up for me real quick. When was Samsung Unpacked for the Galaxy S23? I think you have to type that in. Galaxy Unpacked, or sorry, Samsung Unpacked for Galaxy S23. I think you have to put it that way because, or else it's going to give you the Unpacked that just happened in August. But it's a tradition. 7 years running. This will be the 8th year that it's gonna. Oh, is it gonna happen early? Is it gonna happen a little bit early? So we'll see. It's a again. It's only happened once in the 7 years. So will they be 2 for 8 or 1 for 8? That's all the question that we're gonna have to answer. I do think it is a possibility just because they did it last year. Maybe continue on that tradition. Hey, let's launch a little bit earlier. And what it essentially does is just take out another competitor. Traditionally, this is how it works. Samsung sells more phones in Q2 and Q3. However, Q1, when they traditionally launched at the beginning of March, wasn't enough to beat Apple, and Q4, typically Apple as well, because obviously they launched their phone in Q4. Well, at the end of Q3, but the sales numbers really hit in Q4. Um, so, is that, what's going to happen now? I think one, it allows them, the earlier the better. Then they could overtake Apple February and March and possibly win Q1 as well, as the traditional as the difference, so that they kind of get their sales out of the way in that sense to have another quarter where they outsell Apple. Two, I think the second thing that is definitely thought of is, although they are a smaller competitor, in the US, they're still fighting for number third spot, and that is the OnePlus phone. So the OnePlus phone typically launches before the Galaxy phone, or at least is announced before the Galaxy phone. Doesn't always release before Samsung, but typically is announced in December or January, and then comes out typically the first few weeks of January. At the latest, the beginning of February. They're in kind of launching before Samsung, but this could mean, a big change in that. So we'll have to wait and see. I think it makes sense for them to do it. I do think it makes sense for them. I am glad that it looks like it will be held back in the U.S. That I thought that was so stupid to hold it in, in Korea where you got a lot less coverage, just because they were very limited in the amount of influencers they sent. So yeah, that's the biggest thing that I hope that changes, but we'll have to wait and see. All right. Speaking of OnePlus, they might have some advantages with the OnePlus 12 looking forward, but they might lose their biggest advantage. So, some of the advantage the new OnePlus will have is going to be one, that it's a slightly bigger display, 6.8 instead of 6.7, so catching up to the S series. But it'll actually have a 5,400 milliamp battery. That is 400 more milliamps than traditional. So that is actually pretty interesting. I'm all for that. Finally, let's break in the mainstream. We have not broken the 5,000 milliamp battery on smartphones. That's kind of been the stagnation we've had for the past 3 years. Once we hit that 5,000, there was no going above the 5,000. So I want to see that. Now there are a few phones that did change that exception. Most notably the ROG phones from Asus. Those were gaming phones, so it was different and out of the ordinary. 6,000 milliamp on those, but still not. I would say where you kind of wanted it. Better main sensor, and a 50 megapixel ultra wide, which I'm very happy about, and a 64 megapixel optical zoom, which is better again. So yeah, get more megapixels in there so that we get better shots overall. I'm especially happy to see this, by the way. This is the second brand that updates their ultra wide. I'm hoping that this pushes Samsung, because that is one thing that has really pissed me off. Samsung has not changed their ultra wide camera for over 5 years, and it just annoys the hell out of me. Like, we need better ultra wide cameras, and it's one of the things I am the most excited for. This phone that I just got, the Google Pixel 8 Pro. I just got it in this weekend. I'm going to post my first photos with it tonight, actually, probably after this video. But very happy about this. Really like this case too from Torres. It's a MagSafe connection and also has a kickstand built in. So really like that. But liking these cases more and more now with these kind of connections, and really strong overall. Just, I like the design. I like the speed of it so far. But the AI tools, guys, there's going to be a lot of videos on these AI tools on what you can do and how much you can change everything. Like, this is an AI phone, and I cannot stress that enough, and I'll stress it more when you see the video. But it's one of the most exciting things about that phone is that it has a 50 megapixel ultra wide sensor. So I'm really excited to go ahead and test that out. I'm going to be going to a festival next weekend, so we might not have Mobile Weekly. I will see how tired I am from the event. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to go out to Las Vegas, and there's going to have this, I think it's called a Forever Young Festival. And essentially what it will be is it's going to be a lot of fun. You get to see a lot of the bands that I grew up with, from Green Day to Blink-182 to Good Charlotte, and many more going to be at this event. So I'll get to kind of go ahead and check it out. Very excited for that. And yeah, I just, it should be a lot of fun. I really am excited to see how it goes for sure. All right. Let's see. But but the main issue is that all of these things are going to increase the price. By how much, we don't know. But the OnePlus 11, did start at $699. It was one of the biggest advantages that OnePlus had in comparison to a lot of the other smartphones. So all of these things will make it get a lot higher. So I think that's gonna, we'll see how it does. How much higher? We have seen a bit of brands. Obviously, Google just changed their 799 instead of 699. So I think if they keep it at 799, I don't think it'll be too bad. But if they go above that, I think they're asking for trouble. Again, just because of the fact that you have to be competitive with Google. That's the number 3 spot right now. So for someone that doesn't want a Samsung but wants an Android, you have to be better than Pixel if you want to be highlighted, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. All right, and this one I'm very curious about, and I will find out more about this next month. Another trip I'm going to be taking is to a MediaTek summit. Very excited for that. And the really cool thing about this event is going to be that it's going to probably announce the new processor they're coming out with. And as of right now, the rumor mill is saying that it might actually be faster for the first time ever compared to Snapdragon 8 and even the Exynos 2400 that Samsung just announced at their developer conference last week. Here's the thing, though, about that. The reason why it comes with a big caveat is that it is not going to have any power efficiency cores. So, here's the thing. How much more is it worth it for MediaTek to finally beat Snapdragon and say we are the fastest mobile processor out there and beat them by 10% if it means you're going to have a lower battery life? That is very interesting. Like, I don't know. I hope that it has either some way around the efficiency cores to better do it, because efficiency cores have become a staple for a long time now, and it really is something that the big little setup of CPUs has a really profound effect on being able to really save battery life. It's how we're having laptops. Sorry. It's how we're now having laptops with a lot longer battery life than we used to. I mean, you can have a laptop to 5 to 10 hour battery life, even up to 15-hour battery because of efficiency cores. Smartphones have benefited from this as well. It was one of the biggest differences between the Snapdragon Gen 1 and the Gen Plus 1 or OnePlus. And that is the efficiency cores, and the CPU really made the difference, even though it was a similar battery. So I do hope that we get something instead of this. But I will say, no matter what, I'm very excited for MediaTek to finally beat Qualcomm, just because of the fact that, hey, that's awesome for the fact that we actually get true competition in this space. Very excited for that. All right, and the last bit of news for today is going to be that Microsoft now officially has closed the $69 billion acquisition for Activision, Blizzard, and King. Um, I don't like this. I don't. I really, really don't. And it might be because I'm not an Xbox user. I never have been. The only thing that I have Xbox is the Xbox controller. I bought a 3-month season Game Pass, but I have yet to use it just because, like, I'm waiting for the right time when I'm like, oh, this would be the most optimal time to use it. And I haven't had that yet. Um, so, yeah, for me, this is like, I don't like it. I don't like one brand of console now owning all of these. Yes, I know the deals they've made. Yes, I know all this kind of stuff. But, unless like this is the biggest developer. And I have to make that clear. It's the biggest developer. So even if PlayStation tomorrow would go out and buy EA, they would go out and buy Square Enix. It's still smaller than this. So, I mean, it was already something when Blizzard and Activision joined. Like, that was a huge merger. But, this is pretty much done. EU is the last thing kind of stopping it, and they have approved it now, as long as, like, for streaming services in the EU, you basically get to use these games on whatever streaming service it has to be available for it. That was their big contingent, that Xbox is too dominant in the streaming gaming platform area, which you could agree definitely is for right now. It's not a big, I would say, segment of gamers still at this point, but big enough to grab their attention, I guess. The only thing left is, I think the FTC is trying to file, to stop it. But if in that, it's basically going to be after the fact. So while it isn't impossible for a government to stop a merger, or not a merger, but to break up a company because it's gotten too big. Hence AT&T. That's what happened a long time ago to them. And what they've even threatened to do, which I think would be a good thing, to Facebook and Instagram. Facebook purchased it, and in one of the hearings, I remember someone saying, we can actually take that back, right? And like, just because it merges does not mean they can't undo it at a later time or break the company up, essentially. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of, like, because it plays with too many people's jobs at that point. Like, if it's going through, it's going through at this point. Let it happen. But I am afraid to see what will become of this. And yeah, like, I get it. PlayStation has dominated this console generation. Absolutely dominated this console generation. But what I'm fearful of is the next console generation. That could this, I know it's a long way off, right? But could this kill PlayStation? Is a possibility because Xbox just has so much money. And PlayStation does not. It definitely does not. PlayStation is the most profitable section of Sony, but it does not generate near the amount of money that Xbox has. So that's my 2 cents on it. Are any of you looking forward to this being then? I mean, the best part is if you are an Xbox owner, essentially all of these games will essentially be free from now on if you have the Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it'll basically be part of it. So you won't have to pay anymore for these. So that's the benefit of it. The downside is that all of these games could eventually go away from PlayStation. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. All right, guys, let's get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Should be tea, but coffee. Yeah. Um, was it February 1st? So February 1st was when Unpacked was before. I feel like, so we will see you January in San Francisco. I hope so. Thank you, Mulbay, for kind of confirming that. I would definitely love to go back to San Francisco in January time for that event. I'm always a big fan of Samsung's events, so yeah, definitely would love to. Ricky, I ordered the Pixel 8 Pro for my wife, but since I got her the 512, the watch promo wasn't available. The only due to 128 and 286 sucks. Wow, that sucks, Daniel. That is BS too, Pixel. What the heck? Like, why would you not give that to the biggest one? Um, I would totally, if this was me, I would totally contact customer service and ask them, like, this is ridiculous that I got the bigger one and you're not giving me the watch for free. I think it might be an oversight, but like, ask for it. I know it's kind of like annoying that you would have to do that, but I would say ask for it, just because I think that definitely is a possibility that you could get it. So that would be my 2 cents, is ask for it. And if they deny you, I mean, it's a, stupid way of doing it, and I acknowledge it's a stupid way of doing it, but it works, unfortunately. Post it on Twitter or X or Facebook or whatever, and make them like, oh wait, I should check this out, kind of thing. Um, let's see. And if you like the S24, then you might put a ring on it. I see. So I'll be trading. I might be trading in this ring, this fitness ring, for a new ring come this time of year. Samsung will ring in the new year. Love all the puns, Mullet baby. Um, to me, there is nothing new that really grabs me or over the top on these new phones. I will say, wait for this AI video. I don't think the AI features are getting enough attention for what they can do. Especially as someone that edits on my phone, the AI to remove bad audio and highlight good audio is very impressive. Like, very impressive. So love that. Also, I posted this on Twitter that, so I knew that this totally looked familiar. The new feature that they put on. I knew this feature looked familiar. I had to go back to my old videos because I knew I had to show it. And sure enough, the new Pixel feature, what had been on a previous smartphone. And what it is what Samsung used to call best face, and what Google um, calls. Actually, I'm not sure what they call it now that I think about it. It's not. It's like a new version of Best Shot, which Samsung had Best Photo, and then they had Best Face, so same kind of thing. But what this was you had to switch to this mode to get it. So first of all, this one, the new version is better. Obviously, this was on the Galaxy S4. The Galaxy S4 had this. So Best Shot essentially allowed you to take 5 consecutive photos when you knew you were taking photos of a group, so that if someone would mess up the photo, then you could switch their face out. This is what the new Pixel feature is, except it doesn't need you to do it ahead of time. It's just going to take it as part of best photo or best shot. Sorry. So yeah, I found this really funny because like I was like, I knew Samsung had this before, and now it's funny because someone else has it, and I'm like, so Samsung, are you gonna bring this back? Because that's just hilarious. That is just hilarious. Samsung had this feature so long ago, and then yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Um, I wish they would bring back the Note Edge. That was my favorite Note of all time. Really, the one-sided curve. I mean, it definitely was different, but I don't know if I would for sure call it my favorite. For me, it was the one before the Note Edge that was probably my favorite. The Note 4. It was a perfect phone at the time. Like there was nothing that compared to that phone when it came out. Like it was by far the best phone of the year. That that was such a dominating time, followed by what was it? The Galaxy. Was it the Galaxy Note 6 was the one they skipped, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I think it was the Galaxy S7. That was Samsung's high point in terms of sales and catching up. And I remember because the year the Note 7 came out, that was going to be the year that Samsung overtook Apple every quarter. It was like the way it was trending up with the Note. The Note 7 was the highest demanded phone ever for a Note series, like by far. They were going to break their records with the Note 7. And sure enough, over 1 million sold opening weekend. So it was a lot. In hindsight, that wasn't the best thing, but yeah. So it was really something to see that that would have been their peak. Note 7. If it had not failed, I think it would have changed a lot of the trajectory that we end up getting, because I think Samsung would have continued on their high, instead of S8, Note 8 were all recoveries after that. Sorry. Um, when you get the S24 Ultra with the ISO cell HP 200x sensor at 200 megapixels, you will like the photos and videos. Hey, I am psyched for better videos from Samsung. That's the thing that I'm really really excited for. So hopefully we'll get that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Um, let's hope you like the S24 ultra wide IX 12 megapixel ultra. Mullet baby, I don't know if that's a new sensor or not. I would have to look it up. I will look it up. But it's a 12 megapixel, so hopefully this is a different one. Um, it's the same one from the S23 Ultra. Oh no, wait. Yeah, it's the same one from the S23 Ultra, which apparently was upgraded from the S22. I guess I was wrong. They had an upgrade for 5 years, but they replaced it with a very similar sensor. It looks like. Um, yeah, so they just replaced it with a very similar sensor. So that's why I didn't even notice that they had changed it. Um, but it looks like that was the same one on the S23 Ultra. My favorite was the Note 4. I missed that phone. I was the thing getting one and could have relived my younger years. Yeah, no, it's a good one. The Note 7 was a burner. I see what you did there. Um, just like, the iPhone 14's indestructible. Oh, wait. Uh, I purchased the Galaxy Watch Classic 47 millimeter, like stainless steel color, great Prime Day deal, Best Buy. I'm a total text warranty was free. Question, free question. Once Samsung Pay activated, you must put in a PIN to unlock the watch. Yeah, I don't use Samsung Pay for that reason on the watch because there's no quicker way except for a PIN, I believe. So, yeah, I don't like it. But yeah, once you have it on there, it's on there. I haven't done it for a long time since that was a thing. Um, so I don't know if there's a way around it. Maybe you could time it out for a certain time, or maybe you can have it so when you pair it to your phone, it doesn't ask. Those would be the things I would look into. One ring, 10 features to rule them all. Love it, mullet. Um, 10 features to rule them all. 10 features of a fitness ring. Sleep tracking, stress tracking, step tracking, um, temperature tracking. I'm trying to remember what other ones were there. Oh, I realized when you were looking at something up on the screen, the AI made it look like you were looking at us. Yep, those aren't my eyes that are looking at you right now, but they look like they are. But they're not. But they are. But they're not. But they are. I still need to do that video. I always remember I have to do that video when I'm doing this video, and then I forget about it later. But yes, I have to do a video showing you how I can have my AI eyes. These aren't my real eyes you're looking at right now. I'm not looking at you, but the eyes are meant to be looking at you. But if I look up here, you can see those are my real eyes. These are my fake eyes. Real eyes. Fake eyes. Real eyes. Fake eyes. Um, Sorry for anyone hearing screaming. It looks like my son's upset about something in the background. Um, the Note 3 was the best Note. Uh, I don't think so. The Note 4 was crippled with that horrible swipe fingerprint. For sure, that was not good. For sure, that was not as good. I think the Note 3 had the fingerprint on the back, if I'm not mistaken. But man, that leathering backing, uh, the design, the grip, everything about the Note 4 was just so good that the fingerprint still worked well enough. Um, I need those AI eyes when I'm talking to a woman, and I won't finish that sentence. That's hilarious. Note 3 camera sucks. Yeah, the Note 4 had an amazing photo and video quality. I remember that. For the time, of course. One sneeze to everybody take a drink. I sneezed. Did I sneeze once or twice? I don't know now. Um, let's see. But yeah. All right, guys. I still have my old Note 4. I try to keep that one. It's funny. I don't like have almost any of my old phones. I wish I had kept them more. Obviously, I was buying a lot of tech, so I traded it in or I sold it most of the time, so I didn't have the luxury of keeping them around. But man, I wish I had like a lot of my old phones just so I could relive those things. Like I totally agree with that. The one that I have two that I know of that I kept from a long time ago, and that was my very first smartphone. The Droid, the Moto Droid was my very first smartphone, and then the Galaxy camera that was out, I think, around the time of the S4 and S5. I want to say. Um, Plastic leather. Yes, it was plastic leather, but I didn't care. Like, the Note 5 was the first one that brought glass, right? The Note 5 was the first one that brought glass. But man, the the Note 4, I would still have taken over it. Like, and you know what? That plastic leather kept the phone cooler than glass would, you know. And the Note 4 was when I didn't have to have a case, and the Note 5 and everything after that I had to have a case. Um, One UI 6 is going into alpha testing, and by December betas. Nice. Really cool. I'm excited to see, hopefully, how that goes on. Note 10 Plus in the Prism finish is a classic. That one's true. Now I have 5 hours to sleep. Oof. Hopefully you get some sleep, man. Plus plastic ever. RICKY. Is that an iPhone? No, it's not. This is way too advanced. um, yeah, I might need to go check on them tech kids with all that screaming. So might call it a little bit early today. Go ahead and fire your last in questions, guys, so I can answer them before heading out. But we'll finally be doing the Pixel pens for the Pixel Fold before I ship it off. I am going to trade this phone in. Found a way to get $1,000 for it on It's Worth More. So happy to get that. And then trading in my Pixel 7 Pro for the Pixel 8 Pro that I got. Pixel did send me one, but I need 256 gigs, and they always give me a 128 gig. So I'm basically selling that, trading in that phone, and selling the one they sent me so that I get a bigger, better storage for it. I would have gotten the blue, but the blue was not. It would have been like weeks later. It would have came in, so kind of just wanted it now. So I ended up going with the black. But I would say that if you can get a color, that blue is pretty nice looking, but the black one is, obviously still a very nice looking phone as well. And I do like that that all the cameras are combined now. I think that's a cooler look than the year before. Side by side, you can kind of see it. But yeah. Oh God, Quiet Storm. Why'd you have to ask me about that? All right. So there's a few fandoms that I am very diehard for, right? Tech, wrestling, probably in gaming it would be like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, God of War, Spider Man, Tekken. But in shows, especially anime, I think my top three, and the top one is far above the other two, would be Avatar: The Last Airbender. I still consider it anime because it's anime inspired. Whatever. Death Note. Absolutely love that anime. And the one above all, the granddaddy of them all, the one better, and the one that I call the anime above all, that's bigger than the big three animes, is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z specifically. I think Dragon Ball Z has far surpassed Dragon Ball, like far surpassed it, right? But for the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball, they are giving us something next year, which I don't think the majority of the fandom cares about because we all grew up on Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball. So, because of that, a lot of the fandom doesn't care about this. They are making Goku and everyone kids again, so you can finally see Kid Goku again. Now, the reason why this is also being panned more is because we, as a community, for the most part, of Dragon Ball Z fans, did not like GT, and the plot of GT was this same exact plot. Someone used the Dragon Balls to make a wish to make Goku a kid again. I get if Toriyama wants to, like, I'm going to finally stamp out Dragon Ball GT once and for all, make my own version that is superior. Super was already superior as a continuation. Super Saiyan 4 was stupid. Baby was okay at most. Super 17 was garbage. And the Omega Dragons were garbage. So, he didn't need to do anything to prove this. Maybe he wanted to do it for himself, and if that's his choice, sure. But oh my god, the trailer looks so bad. I don't need to see these people as kids. I don't. I have. I have almost no connection to Goku with the power pole, which is the highlight of the trailer. Like, oh my god, he's using the power pole just like he did when he was a kid. No, no. Like, I don't need to see Kid Vegeta either. Like, people are saying that's what's different. In GT, Vegeta was an adult still. This one, all of them are kids. You're going to see Kid Piccolo and Kid Vegeta. I don't need to see them as kids. We had some clips of them as kids when they were younger. That was enough. But, yeah. So, I am with most of the fandom. I don't want this. I don't care about it. Will I see it? Possibly, just because, I don't know, I'm a sadist. But uh, I don't care about OG Dragon Ball. Like I never even finished OG Dragon Ball. I saw the two last seasons and that was it. I didn't see the beginning seasons. I didn't see the Red Ribbon Army, all that kind of stuff. Didn't care. The Dragon Ball was too kiddish. I thought Dragon Ball Z did a much better job, in my opinion, and I do not think Dragon Ball would have ever been as big if they had just continued that story rather than what Dragon Ball Z changed and the focus changing to Gohan. Gohan doing well enough. The Buu Saga kind of messed it up, but in the end, he was still the most powerful being at the end of the Buu Saga. So yeah, I just and I liked Superhero because it was a return of that. We were okay. Gohan is now more powerful than Super Saiyan Blue. Let's go! Like it was finally, something different and something like okay, let's continue this story. And yeah, it just that's my opinion. And I'm not saying it's everyone's opinion. This is just my opinion. You asked what was my opinion on this. Most of the fandom of Dragon Ball Z does not care about this. People that grew up with Dragon Ball are on the more positive side. They're saying let's give it a chance, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. I hope this is. We don't know what it is yet. We don't know if it's a series. We don't know if it's going to be a mini series. We don't know what it's going to be yet. I just hope that it changes to be, yeah, that it doesn't delay Super from continuing on, or even another Super movie from happening, because I would definitely want to see that. All right. Let's see. Get some well-deserved rest. You surely deserve it. Thanks for the Best Buys during Amazon days. Oh yeah, I'm happy if one of you guys were into using it. So you're liking the Pixel over Samsung? Ooh, do I like Pixel over Samsung? I have not used it enough yet. I switched everything over Friday, so let me see. Give me time. I haven't even gone out. Like I'm excited for next weekend because I'm really gonna get to put it through its paces and do a lot of photos. That is the most important thing with Pixel is to really put it through its photos. Um, but so far, battery life is good. Charging is faster than the Fold was, and I haven't had any hiccups or slowdowns, which was a big thing with the Pixel Fold for me. That if the Pixel Fold would have had a Snapdragon processor, it would have been the best foldable of the year for me. I would still be using it right now, but it did not, and that's what killed it for me. Just when Goten and Trunks grew up, yeah. Like the whole point of Goten was to have another baby Goku, and now, yeah. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. What do you think of the Freestyle 2? The Freestyle 2 is Samsung's projector that didn't change enough from the Freestyle 1. It did not change enough. You need to give me better lumens for that price, Samsung. That's all I got to say. Need better lumens. That's going to be the main thing that I would say that Samsung needs to have a better quality of. It's just not going to be that for me. But yeah, no, Freestyle 2 didn't change much. I'm hoping better for the Freestyle 3, but Freestyle 2 didn't change much. The best feature of the Freestyle 2 is you can put two Freestyles together and have an ultra wide projection. That's the best feature of it. But literally from the Freestyle 1 to Freestyle 2, there wasn't that much of a change in terms of quality. Focusing was even faster, but it was already really fast, so yeah. Um, give me Roller Coaster Tycoon. I'm not too mad about it. I totally understand how you feel. Yeah, that's me again. You are wrong. Wrong about what? I don't know. Double Dragon is better. I mean, Double Dragon was awesome. Loved the cartoon back in the day. Loved the video game, and the movie was the silliest. It was like Super Mario Brothers movie, but better. Or sorry, the the Super Mario live action movie, but better because it was stupid, but it was actually laugh. You could laugh at it as opposed to Super Mario Bros. I still like my wife actually likes that live action movie, and I'm just like, no, no, I get it. You were younger, so it was the time for you, and apparently that wasn't bad. But no, that was such a bad movie. Um, I thought you were talking about a video game. No, no, I think it was what you probably were talking about was Dragon Ball Z. Uh, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. All for that. Can't wait for that one. Um, I'm still waiting for Chronicles of Riddick movie. Hey, that'll be interesting if that ever comes about for sure. Rudy Can't Came, thank you for the super chat donation, man, and the little devil emoji. That's cool. All right, guys, I think we will call that a show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. More videos to come this week. And yeah, two big sponsor videos coming in 2 weeks. But as for next weekend, watch my post for YouTube and Twitter, and probably even Facebook to see if I'll be doing the live stream. The next 2 weekends, I am going to Vegas both weekends and coming back Sunday. So we'll have to wait to see how I'm doing. And how exhausted I am. I will be making the drive both Sundays, so we'll see how it kind of works out. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys hopefully next week. But again, I will leave messages on YouTube post if I cannot do it, if it's just a long day. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. We'll talk to you guys hopefully in a week. This has been RSCKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Make sure to like and thumbs up before you leave. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also, follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy.